When it comes to crash outs, few can compare to the one and only Tay-K, who not only crashed the GOAT, he did the race.
Nah, he was one of the first original Goofies. He is the original Goofy, folks. You know what I'm saying? An OG, original Goofy, because he one of the first people to catch a body, then make a song about the body, and then go on the run from the body. Nigga, what you thought you was finna... What you thought was finna happen?
Just recently, the 24-year-old was sentenced to forever.
And he only 24.
Well, not literally. But by the time he's eligible for parole, he'll either be dead or close to it. And in this video, we're going to break down Tay-K's infamous case, along with a series of unfortunate events that left a 16-year-old in a cell responsible for
live from the gates of hell. Free me. No, ain't no free you. You holding... My thing is, gang, you in jail fighting for your life, and you taking pictures like this and posting them, that don't make no sense to me. You still waiting on trial for the judge to give you a life sentence, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. You in here fighting for your life, your freedom, and you taking pictures like this. You're a Goofy. Your brain cells, is something wrong, gang. Something ain't right.
Kevin Beverly, who went by the name KD, was a Compton Crip, while Jolena McIntyre, who went by the name Nina, was a Long Beach Crip.
Okay, then.
The two would meet in high school in the early 90s.
These Tay-K parents
would have a baby named Tamor McIntyre, who would later be known as Tay-K.
Oh, okay. So he had two gangsters. So that's why he thought he was gangster. Because he had two Goofies for parents. This bitch out here throwing up Crip with a blue, like, man, what do y'all got going on?
His father would wind up in prison, while his mother was in and out of jail struggling with addiction.
There you go.
Tay-K
with addiction. Like that, he's a crack baby. Do your homework on crack babies. I told you his sales all wasn't right.
Out of foster care, where he'd suffer abuse along with his siblings.
Something wrong with him.
He'd be returned to his mother, only to be taken away again as she went back to jail.
Back to jail, that's your damn
This cycle
shame.
would continue as Tay-K moved from Long Beach, California to Las Vegas, Nevada. His mother would be arrested again, finding herself in a new jail, while Tay-K in a new home. It wasn't until his father's release from prison that his father would move the family down to Arlington, Texas.
Okay, they moved to Texas.
Reunited with his father and relocated to a more suburban environment, you'd think Tay-K would finally have a chance to thrive now that his family was back together.
How? You got a crash out for a dad that been in jail for years. You got a crackhead mama who go back and forth to jail. He was set up to fail from the day he was born. He was born from two Crips. Yeah, the one Crip, like, okay, if the dad was gangbanging and he had his baby by a schoolgirl, you got a chance. But if the dad is a Crip and he got a baby by another female gangbanging Crip, oh, ain't no chance in hell.
But by now, Tay-K was claiming his mother's set, Baby Insane Crip. Tay-K wasn't old enough to have been put onto the set in Long Beach, meaning he wasn't officially jumped in. But who could tell Tay-K he wasn't official?
He in Texas.
He came from a Crip family with both parents still actively banging. In Texas, Tay-K would take up an interest in music before finding himself wanting to become a rapper. Tay-K would become a member of Daytona Boys, a rap group with his two friends, Eric Johnson, who went by the name Santana Sage,
two Goofies,
and Jalen Bell, who went by the name Pimpies.
Two Goofies.
Building up a local fan base, things took a turn for the Daytona Boys in 2016.
That was 26. That's
Sarah
crazy,
was
gang.
the designated driver for her friends on New Year's Eve. She attended the University of North Texas and was enrolled in the radio, television, and film program. Pulling up to a stoplight, another vehicle pulled up alongside hers. The other vehicle contained multiple males who began making derogatory comments to Sarah and the other females in her vehicle. A male in Sarah's car defended the females. And that's when gunshots rang out. Sarah
Is this the murder case that he fighting right? That he just got locked up for?
Was shot in the head, lost control of the vehicle, and hit another car before crashing into a pole. Tay-K, who was only 15 years old at the time, was later identified as being in the suspect vehicle.
I want to put y'all on to some of the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Freecash.com is a website that allows you to literally get paid hundreds of dollars just for playing video games on your phone. All you need is an email and a password. Follow the directions on each of the campaigns and you can earn at least $100. My personal favorite game to play was Sunrise Island, and when I clicked on it, they had a $370 bonus. I got $370 just for playing the video game on my phone. On average, it only takes about 17 minutes for most people to start earning money on freecash.com. So if you need some free, easy, extra money, go to freecash.com, click the QR code right here, or go in the description below and start getting that bag. You did? Right.
This would be the first murder he'd be connected to, but he never faced charges
because he didn't do it.
Instead, a 21-year-old Marine named Eric Johnson was taken into custody at his base and later arrested for killing Sarah.
Do you see what I meaning when I say goofies with guns? These is a bunch of short yellow bus kids with guns and drugs, folks. They're not gangsters. They just slow, short yellow bus kids. Because I'm tired of hearing stories about stuff like this where it's like, gang, you can't even say what you did was gangster. You pulled up on a white girl at nighttime in the suburbs. You pulled up on a white girl, said something crazy to her. The dude said something back, so you popped the girl in the head. That's not gangster. That's not sad. That's not what's supposed. That ain't supposed to be what's going on. I ain't heard about nobody's you got locked up for doing nothing to your ops, but you did something to a white girl in the car. They not gang. They just goofies with guns, short yellow bus kids with guns. Folk, y'all need to do some type of psychiatric evaluation before you let a nigga pull a trigger, folk. Stop letting these goofies get guns, man. What the hell is going on?
Senseless and tragic.
Yeah, just
there
stupid.
Are so many things Clay and Gloria Muchlechner could talk about right now.
Couldn't go to sleep. All I could think about was her and this just horrible thing that happened to her. She did not deserve
at all. She didn't do nothing.
But they say Sarah would want them to smile. Hers was infectious.
She's never met a stranger. She was always nice to people. She would talk with them.
Just like her grandpa Bloss.
And no matter what, think of what they had,
bogus as hell.
Not what they lost.
We're all gonna miss her.
This bogus as hell. I don't care what nobody say. This is the bogus as hell.
Some people don't get to have their kids 20 years, so we have to be blessed with what we've had with her. Time spent.
Jurors found Eric Johnson guilty of shooting Sarah Muchlechner on New Year's Day back in 2016. The Denton County District Attorney confirmed on Twitter that Johnson will be eligible for parole based on the sentence after serving 22 years of the 44 I mentioned. The jury could have sent him to prison for life.
They should have. What the hell?
6 months later, Tay-K would make a decision that would forever alter his life.
6 months later.
17-year-old Zachary Bello and 21-year-old Ethan Walker were roommates in Mansfield, Texas.
Do these look like gangsters to you? They look like two short yellow bus kids to me. It's about to get worse. 6 months later. 6 months later, I guess, is when Tay-K caught his body or whatever. But you see what I'm saying, though? How it's just like you pulled up on a white girl and said something to her because you thirsty to blow your gun. You thirsty to do something to prove to everybody that you a gangster. And you proved it. Now you gonna have to sit in there for 44 years and prove it every day.
Zach's girlfriend believed the two were selling drugs and decided to plan a robbery on her own boyfriend.
Damn!
Word would get to 16-year-old Tay-K, who then recruited a team to get the job done. 3 girls went to the house, all aware of what was about to happen.
Bro, what?
As they spent time with the 2 roommates, they unlocked the doors to the house and the 4 robbers let themselves in. Over the next few minutes, Zach would be hit in the head with brass knuckles and shot in the shoulder.
What did you hit him? What did you shoot him for? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna stop pausing it, but how slow? Short yellow bus kids. If you came in here to rob somebody, put the gun in their face, take them down and leave. I get robberies. It's messed up, but you got some money. You ain't got no money. I got money. You trying to rob me? Okay, cool. What the hell you shoot me and punch me in the head with brass knuckles for? What gangster you know walk around with brass knuckles? Come on, man.
Ethan was shot in the chest and left on the ground, gasping for air. Ethan would later die, and Zach knew he was set up by the girls because when the robbers walked in, the girls just got up and walked out, not even acting scared or surprised. But nobody planned for a double shooting.
Right.
Or for Ethan to
dumbass.
die. Police would quickly identify everyone involved, with Tay-K being arrested at only 16 for participating in the home invasion robbery to murder.
Because they think they in a goddamn paid in full movie, folks. Y'all was supposed to come in there and rob somebody? How you walk in the door shooting people? How does that mentally make sense? It don't, because you're a short yellow bus kid. I'm gonna shut up.
Released on house arrest, Tay-K would cut off his ankle monitor and go on the run. A month later, 23-year-old Mark Saldivar was shot and killed in a Chick-fil-A parking lot.
New on the night beat, one man found dead in the middle of a parking lot of a North Side fast food restaurant following a shooting. As Pilar Arias reports tonight, police say the car the victim was riding in may also be the same vehicle the suspects took off in.
The parking lot of a Chick-fil-A turned crime scene. The restaurant closed for business like it usually is on Sundays. But that didn't stop witnesses and spectators from gathering to figure out what happened at the lot just across from North Star Mall early this evening.
What the hell? Was that the Mexican that got robbed, but he survived? Like they came, is that him?
A few people out here, and the car drove through like everybody else, and as soon as they heard the noise, they all started looking.
Police now trying to find out how this all happened. Their sights set on a black four-door car. They say the victim was riding in the car along with several other people police are now looking for. They had pulled in here just before 5:30. As far as investigators know at this point, the man was shot outside the vehicle, but they don't know what made him want to get out.
Investigators would learn Tay-K and others picked up the photographer for a photo shoot at a local mall. While in the vehicle, Tay-K and one of the other suspects pulled out guns, pistol whipped Mark, and took his backpack containing his equipment. Mark was forced out of the car, tried to get back in, and desperately jumped on the hood. That's when Tay-K leaned out of the window and shot him dead.
What the fuck? So the first thing you unalived a white girl because you said something crazy to her. Random white girl in traffic. The second body, you walked in trying to rob somebody and just walk in guns blinking like John Wick. Do your homework on John Wick. Just came in there John Wicking it out, just popping people and killing motherfuckers. Then you got locked up for murder, cut your bracelet, your ankle monitor off, went on the run, and then robbed this guy. You robbed the camera, the cool Mexican cameraman. You robbed him and shot and killed him for no reason. You shot him while he jumped on the hood. Why you didn't just keep driving and get him off the hood? What did you have to do? This is so weird to me, bro. It's because they don't have ops. They don't have ops. Nobody cares about these kids. They just short yellow bus kids with guns. Thirsty to shoot somebody or shoot at somebody or rob somebody or do whatever so they can come on the internet and tell you how gangster they is. Look at his face. Look how bad he want to be a gangster. Look at him. Look how bad he want to be a gangster, bro. Like, go sit your ass down somewhere, Goofy. And you want me to feel bad because you locked up talking about free me? No.
Tay-K would drop his infamous song, The Race. And that same day, he'd be captured by U.S. Marshals in New Jersey.
Like, what the...
Tay-K was now viral after dropping a song describing killing and being on the run and going as far as showing his own wanted poster. The song would reach number 44 on the Hot 100 Billboard chart and currently sits at 251 million views on YouTube.
That's crazy.
But Tay-K would never get to perform his hit song or experience anything from it. He'd only hear about it through jail calls and jail visits.
Dumbass.
Tay-K would eventually be found guilty for
and then I'm gonna stop pausing after this. And then they say the ones, if you make a song about a body or you make a song about whatever, or some street shit that you didn't do, they say you a goofy. They say you ain't keeping it real. They say you a lame. They say you all this. But he's not a lame. You made a real song about a real body that you really caught on a case that you really own. And then y'all call other niggas goofies. Lil Durk, you made a real song about a real nigga that you put real body, like you really caught and you really put this murder together and you made a real song about a real body. Like, y'all little boys slow, gang. I don't know what you want me to do.
Role in the home invasion murder of Ethan Walker. While he wasn't the shooter, the fact that he recruited the shooter would leave him with a 55-year prison sentence.
Yep. See ya.
Fast forward to 2025.
This the other murder.
Tay-K would be sentenced to an additional 80 years in prison for shooting and killing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
your punishment is to be assessed at 80 years in the prison.
Yep.
I don't know where your mom is. Don't know where your father is. I know that you had a rough childhood. And I do know that these offenses occurred when you were very young. And I do realize that while this is a lot of time, and I tell people all the time, any time that you do in custody is a lot of time.
Hell yeah. 5
But by
days,
that
a lot
same
of time.
token, you're still alive. And what the state has said is true. You're still alive. You can still better yourself. If you end up in prison for the rest of your life, you're still alive. You still can improve yourself.
Right.
Your family can still visit you.
Right. Your
But
victims
the
can't.
complainant in this case is deceased.
Right.
24-year-old Tay-K has been sentenced to a total of 135 years in Texas State Prison. His sentencing will be run concurrent, meaning his 55-year sentence has pretty much been overruled
by
his 80-year sentence.
So concurrent mean that 80, they're not gonna do 80 plus 50. They just gonna run it. They're gonna run them together, so that he just gonna end up doing an 80.
Under Texas law, he'll be eligible for parole in his 60s.
In his 60s.
Things have already been rough for him, judging by the scar on the side of his neck. It appears to be a slash from a razor.
Oh yeah, they did something to that boy.
While his crimes can't be minimized, his life must be analyzed. Tay-K was born to 2 gangbanging parents, raised in and out of foster care, and became a product of his parental influence. At only 16, far from mentally developed, he made choices that have essentially ended his ability to experience a life in freedom. He's been deemed a threat to society, and now knowing his childhood, it can be determined he really never had a chance to live peacefully in society. One can only hope he finds peace in prison, learns from his mistakes, asks forgiveness from his victims' families, and lives long enough to make parole.
Hopefully.
This is the reality of being a crash out.
Yep.
And he is a living example of what any teen could be
on phone
if
now.
You're following down a similar path.
Phone now. You trying to be
now,
cool and
as
shit.
Tay-K's case is,
it's not that
it's
sad.
It's even sadder what happened to Sarah, Zach,
Ethan,
Mark.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ain't not that.
And when you
like,
hear what happened to them, you really lose any sympathy for him.
Hell yeah.
This was a 16-year-old who was doomed from the start, that grew up to 2 gangbanging parents that didn't do shit for him.
Yeah.
Didn't provide anything for him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they tried to get their shit together. They tried to, you know, testify on his behalf, and
oh, okay.
It's done nothing for him.
Right.
He was failed by his parents 100%. And then he also failed himself.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. At 16, my parents wasn't like, you know, weird or nothing like that. But at 16 years old, folks, like, your parents gangbanging, and that's cool and all. But, you know, I ain't hear your parents go to jail for no murders. So if your parents were selling drugs and you start selling drugs, then I say that. If your parents was robbing people and you start robbing people, or you was arrested for robbing somebody, okay, cool. Your parents ain't catching no bodies, bro. Your parents ain't, you feel me? Like, you should be smart enough to know that you should not be in the car with a nigga that's shooting a white girl. You should be smart enough to know that you already robbed the cameraman. He jumped on the hood of the car. Why did you lean outside of the car and unalive the cameraman? You should be smart enough to know we going in here to rob this person. We're not going to shoot him. We're going to rob him and leave. At 16 years old, you supposed to know all that, gang. He wasn't 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Which means he went this whole time, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, without catching no bodies. He wasn't that slowfo. He was thirsty. He wanted to be cool. He wanted to go back to the hood and people be like, yeah, Tay-K really like that. Oh my God, yeah, he wanted that shit, gang. And he got it. This is what it gets you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
FBI, open up!
$80 years, nigga, we see you in what? 2000? Damn, nigga, it's gonna be 2100 by the time you get out. Woo! 2105. Shit.